habits improve, so do the productivity. And as productivity improves, so do the profits. No great vision statement, no fantastic this, that, or whatever, just simply they wanted their place to be the safest place to work. And I wonder if you just want to be quiet for a moment to think about what would your little phrase be for your church? Maybe you want it to be the safest place to be at. The safest place to work for people feel they belong. But have a think about that just for a moment. You see, part of our work in helping people discern their gifts and then directing them accordingly is key, because great marriages don't just happen. Jenny and I have been married 34 years now, and I can tell you great marriages don't just happen. They need to be worked at. Great friendships don't just happen. And what do people want? What do the volunteers want? What do people want in your church? They want a relationship with the church. They want a relationship with you. But they don't just happen. They need to be worked on. And great parishes don't just happen either. They take time. They take the process. They take transformation. They take what is inside the parish in developing that and transforming that and moving it outside. You see, because they have cultivated one intentional, faithful step at a time. When we want fruit to grow, our role as leaders is that we need to tend the soil. I worked for an organization that made frozen potato fries. So for those of you who've been to McDonald's and KFC and any takeaway outlet, I used to sell those fries to those outlets. And the interesting thing was that we worked with farmers in Mpumalanga and Limpopo, and we had a guy who was called an agronomist, and he was the guy out there helping, because we wanted to get the best possible yield out of every single potato that we got into the factory. And there was an interesting case where we had two farms right next to each other, and the one farm, the yield of the potatoes was way higher than the other farm. And when we had a look at that, we looked at why these potatoes were different to these potatoes, because in that area the soil is the same. It was how they were tending to the soil, what they were feeding to the soil, how they were watering, the irrigation processes, and what they did when it rained, what they did when they needed to fertilize. And so as you think about this, we need to think about what is the soil looking like in your parish. So then let's have a look at this culture of invitation and belonging. And we know that Cardinal Brisson has just been talking about the church exists to evangelize and the importance behind that. And just to say this, the sense that evangelization, or this culture of invitation and welcoming and bringing people in, isn't necessarily a program, it's a person, it's Jesus Christ. So don't see what you're doing in evangelizing and bringing people in as putting in a program. In Africa, we have a saying, you cannot give what you don't have. We spoke about that, but we must first encounter Christ as leaders ourselves and continue to do that, and then to help others to do that as well. Father Mallon writes this, that evangelization is about creating environments of encounter, spaces where the Holy Spirit can work. When hearts are transformed, evangelization stops being a program and becomes a lifestyle. Just for a moment, think about your parish and what is that lifestyle in your parish? Are you outward looking? Are you inviting people in? What does that look like in your parish? I don't know how we're going to do this, because what I would like to have done is us just to get together in fours or sixes, and that's going to perhaps be a little bit awkward, but if you are able to just chat to people around you, can you please do that? Whether it's 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever the case is. And I'd love you just to choose one of these questions. It doesn't matter which one.